Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to the anime review. Today we look at the final episode of Sengoku Night Blood, episode 12. You know, I will say that I was actually thoroughly pleased with how this week's episode kind of ended the season, or possibly series. I'm going to presume series, but, you know, I'll probably put season as, you know, a thing just in case they do another season, because they do leave up open for another one. I mean, the fact that Yuzuki's still trapped in this, you know, other world, and the fact that really the Yakuma can quote-unquote reappear, even though they've basically been, I want to say, terminated because of Yuzuki powers, and both Hideyoshi and Nobunaga teaming up and sucking her blood, which, that image, I called that. I knew at one point either, like, all of them would do that, or at least, like, the majority of them would do that, and I was close. I mean, okay, slightly off that it was all Hideyoshi and Nobunaga who sucked their blood and gained the power, which made them, you know, turn it like basically Super Saiyans. I mean, legit, they had blonde hair. They turned it to Super Saiyans for the sequence, but, you know, they were able to take down the giant Yakuma that we saw and, you know, save Yuzuki in the process too. But what I think was the best line of this week was the fact that she actually legit was okay with Hideyoshi saying that that was his wife. Because, I mean, they're not married. They weren't married. She's been out basically since this happened, and all of a sudden, you know, he's like, oh, this is my wife. You know, how dare you give her presents and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't really married. I mean, she's still clearly looking for a way to go home, but I do think that's pretty cute in its own right that she was okay with it. Like, you know, Hideyoshi and Yuzuki, I ship. I know that other people have different opinions on that, and you can feel free to put in the comments who you shipped in the show, but Yuzuki and Hideyoshi are, like, to me, the best ones, because I love their relationship with one another. I wish it was a little more fleshed out with them, but, you know, it's an Otome game adaptation. You really can't have it any more, you know, basically shipped out anything more than that. Even though Code Realized did a way better job with that, but, you know, it is what it is. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed Sengoku Night Blood. I don't think it was the best show ever, and I definitely am not going to rate it as high as my enjoyment was of it, because the fact was that it did have its faults, and it's definitely not liked by Mal, man. I mean, Mal has this thing as like a 5.83 right now, which I don't think it's that bad. Like, honestly, 6 or 7 on Mal would probably make sense to me, but 5.83, like, come on, man, jeez. But yeah, I mean, animation was solid for the show. I really love the animation. I love the music. I love the voice actors. They all did a great job of reprising the roles of the characters. I actually didn't hate Yuzuki, even though she wasn't really doing anything spectacular. She was kind of a damsel in distress. She wasn't as dumb as some of the other damsels in distress we have. Like, you know, she really had no reason to run away a lot, because she was always treated pretty well for the most part. You know, for example, perfect example of this is Diabolic Lovers. I hate Diabolic Lovers for this reason, where we have our main girl in that being an idiot, where she should, of all things, run away from these people that are kidnapping her, but she's okay with it for some reason. Yuzuki, even by Nobunaga's group, was treated very well and treated pretty much like a person, not an object. So she had really no reason to panic or run away from these guys. Really, just more so she was taking everything in very calm manners and even helping out when she could. And she even realized at the end that, hey, you guys need me to help out with this, so suck my blood, you know, you'll give the powers to fight. So, I mean, you know, she's not completely dim-witted, I should say. She's actually kind of smart. She's just not super, I want to say, intelligent in comparison to other females we've seen in terms of these shows. But I liked her as a character. I think she was definitely one of my more favorite reverse harem female leads. But in all reality here, folks, like I said, it does have its issues. That's why if I had to rate Sengoku Night Blood between A through F, I'm going to give it a C+. I think that's a fair score for it. I almost said fairing. That's a fair score from it. I think that it was a show that definitely had its highlights. You know, there were some really cool action sequences. The characters were pretty cool in general. I loved, again, the art was really fantastic. I just wish that some things were a little more graphic at times. You know, we have these moments where, you know, things should have kind of highlighted a little bit stronger, especially like with the past story between I want to say Hideyoshi and Nobunaga and stuff like that. It should have been done a little bit stronger, but I think that it did a good job, and I think that everything worked out the way I wanted to from the show. So I don't think it was the worst reverse harem series I've watched. I actually think it was pretty good for the most part. Do I recommend it to everyone? No. I mean, if you've seen other reverse harems, you probably aren't going to love this show too much, but if it's your first foray into a reverse harem, it's not a bad way to start. You know, especially if you get because it gives you all I want to say beats of a reverse harem. You get the, you know, the main girl who's not super bright, but she's somewhat intelligent enough that she can understand what's going on. You have all the dudes that are going after her, not in the same sense as most other shows, because they're going after her for her power, but they don't treat her poorly, so it's like, it's not such a bad thing. I feel like some characters get shafted to the side, which definitely keeps the show from being like anywhere that great, but it wasn't a bad show, and I think it was enjoyable. So C+ might be a little high for it, but I think it's deserving of that. What did you guys think, though? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know. As always, guys and girls, if you like this review, please think about hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, sharing the video. Likewise, check out my Patreon for various awards. Until our paths cross again, everyone, God bless you all. Have a great, great day. I'll talk to you later.